Hi, Doug Goldstein here. One of the questions that clients ask me a lot, usually when they first open an account or first start working with us, is, Doug, how is it best to communicate with you? And I think that's a great question. So let me tell you, there are really two halves to dealing with a financial institution. There's the investment advisory side, which is what I handle, and then there's the technical side, or everything else. And in my office, I have Sandy Ohana, my office manager. She's in charge of the whole team that handles customer support. It's those two aspects that you have to think about. Do I need investment advice or customer support? I have a little more to say about this, but I actually want to show you a presentation. So let me jump to the other side of the computer and take a look at this screen. How is it best to communicate with your financial advisor? Let's take a look. The first thing is that for an investment conversation, meaning what should I buy, how should I invest, all those sorts of conversations are going to happen with the investment advisor himself. In fact, part of the account opening interview, when I sit with clients, I'll ask them a lot of questions, and all of those questions are specific things that I want to understand myself. Later, filling out or signing papers, I don't really necessarily have to be involved in that, but to get all the information, that's something that an investment advisor should do with his clients, because only by understanding what's going on with the client can he actually give good advice. In fact, by the way, it's a law. It's called the Know Your Client law, and we're not allowed to give advice to someone until we have in fact asked them a whole series of questions about their financial situation and their experience and their tolerance for risk. One of the things you have to remember is that investment advice should always be done in a conversation. If you send a short email or tweets or text messages, neither side really understands what's going on. That's not a particularly good tactic to use in talking to each other. Let me give you an example. If we did things with long emails, eventually, I really think that people would get overwhelmed. Of course, you want to read all of the information, and you may have things to ask the advisor, but if you do it by writing, and again, I have no problem with putting things in writing, that's the purpose of the prospectus, you're not going to get a good feeling of what's going on, and the advisor's not going to really understand what's going on with you. That's what talking to people and body language is really all about. So these are real examples, by the way, of emails I've got. Dear Doug, buy me Intel. Sincerely, John. Well, I've changed the name, but the symbol I kept there. What stock do you suppose he was thinking of? You think he was thinking of Intel, the major chip manufacturer? Well, in fact, the stock symbol for Intel is not INTL, it's INTC. So I suspected something was going wrong, and I called the client, but there's so much information missing here, not the least of which is the number of shares he wants and what price he wants to pay for it, or does he just want to buy it at the market? And obviously he even had the wrong stock symbol. So that's why we don't take stock orders by trade. Here, take a look at this. Dear Doug, I'd like to switch out of my bond fund. Can you please take care of it? Well, what does that mean? Does she want to sell something and buy something new? Does she want to just get out of it? How much of it? Which bond fund? You have to talk about it because the advisor is going to know what questions to ask to be very, very clear on the trade. A simple email or a text message is not clear, which is why we don't accept it. In fact, the disclaimer in our emails always says we don't accept orders by email, fax, or voicemail. All trade orders must be confirmed verbally. If a client sends an order by email and I happen to see it, I'll call him. But by the way, I don't check my email all the time, so it's certainly not going to be timely if you send an order by email. You have to call to place a trade. So why don't we allow clients, by the way, to trade online? There are companies that do. It happens to be our policy that we don't allow them to trade for themselves online. And really what happens is they just tend to make mistakes. They overtrade, or they're not careful, or they do the wrong kind of trade, and then we're always in a cleanup mode. The types of clients that we work with aren't traders. We're not looking to work with someone who wants to be buying and selling because, frankly, that's not our philosophy. So if someone wants to do that, he's better served at another brokerage firm. And really, we don't allow clients to trade online because we have a different approach and a different philosophy for investing. So the best way is to talk to me, at least in my office, and I think for most advisors, I I'm always happy to have a meeting with a client. I like when people come in, we sit, we talk, we review. If we can't do that, I'm happy to talk on the phone. Clients we have overseas, we'll talk to them by Skype. And by the way, even for phone meetings and Skype meetings, and of course for face-to-face meetings, set an appointment. We've even got an online scheduler so that if you want to set a time that's convenient for you to talk, you can just click on the website, you go and you sign up. I actually prefer that a lot because I like when I want to speak to a client or he wants to speak with me, I like that we have time to talk and neither of us is rushed. If I'm calling to talk to someone and he's on his cell phone and he's catching a train, he's not able to concentrate. I think that the work we're doing is very, very important because it's all about your future. And hey, let's schedule a little time so we can talk clearly in a relaxed way and no one feels pressure to make any decisions. All technical communications, which is basically everything else other than investments, that you should call the office and speak to, in my case, you speak to Sandy or one of her team members. They'll handle everything else for you. They'll help you to set meetings. They'll help you to get statements or tax reports. They'll help you with online lookup. If you need your checkbook or a debit card, hey, if you want to buy one of my books, my staff can help you out with that. If you need to wire money to a bank or you want to deposit a check or even sign papers, the staff is there to help you out with that. You don't need to speak to your investment advisor to do all of the back office work. That's why we have a back office, and they are fantastic. The number one way of getting your problem solved, I always tell clients, is when you call the office, just start speaking. Tell whoever answers the phone exactly what's going on, and in most cases, at least in my office, the people who answer the phone can help you on the first phone call. That's always our goal, so that clients feel that they're taken care of right away and they don't have to call back or wait for a call back. Sometimes they do. I can't tell you that we can solve everything on one phone call, but we always try.